Hey bud, I get that you're really broken up about the McCormick thing, but a lot of the jokes that you wrote for this are kind of approaching like watch list territory, so jokes? Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about the past week for the Houston Astros that was a series split against the Baltimore Orioles, and then losing the series up in Philadelphia. And I know what you're thinking, Weston, why just the one? Yeah, so I was ready to do one for the Orioles series, and then I woke up Monday feeling the opposite of good, and then ended up taking like a 4-hour nap in the afternoon. Ditto for Tuesday, and ditto even more so for yesterday. I fell asleep at like, I don't know, 1 o'clock and woke up at 8 before then going to bed again. But I'm finally not feeling like absolute death warmed over, so we're back to talk about the past week. And yeah, it's a bit of a bummer that they end up losing the series to Philly and just getting the split in Baltimore. I honestly have a pretty positive opinion of the week, if I'm being totally honest. You go 3-4 against two really, really good teams that both could very much wind up winning their divisions, respectively, and also maybe even hosting like playoff advantage throughout the postseason for their given conferences. These are two really good teams, like two of the legitimate best teams you might beat or might face in the entire month of October, and you held your own against them. In total, you go 3-4, and of the 4 losses, one of them you had a 5-2 lead, but one of your best relief pitchers came in and blew 5 runs in one singular third of an inning, mind you, for Abreu. One of them you had a 2-0 lead, and then one base hit changed the entire game with a base clearing double to make it 3-2. And then another 1-run loss. And saying that with allergies is really difficult, so appreciate that that was like the 5th take of that, by the way. And then, yeah, Verlander kind of just got lit in the 4th loss, but, you know, c'est la vie. You weren't really run off the field in any of the games. You held your own very, very well. And you got 3 wins, including a couple of dismantlings, both on either side of Spencer Arrighetti, which, like, yeah, he's going to be the first topic, by the way. I said with the Lance McCullers news, that sucks. Not just because you're losing a good pitcher, you're losing an important pitcher to have in the month of October, which isn't necessarily the pitcher who is the best or the most dominant, has the best stuff, can shoulder the biggest part of the workload. You need the sauce when you get to the postseason. There are a lot of pitchers that the Astros have had over the past few years that are better than Lance McCullers Jr. But none of them have the sauce like Lance McCullers has. Spencer Arrighetti, for his shortcomings, has the sauce. Going into Baltimore and outdueling a Cy Young Award winner, the sauce. Going out again on last night in Philadelphia and pitching 7 2/3 shutout with 11 strikeouts, he's got the sauce, dude. He's just got it. Over the past week, he pitched 13 2/3 shutout with 18 Ks. And shut out 2 of the best teams in the sport. In their home. I'm not saying that he's going to do that in the postseason. What I am saying is you need a pitcher who's like that. Who can just kind of, at any given point, bring out the sauce and go into an opponent's stadium, completely block out any of the noise, and just dominate. I have been oddly optimistic the entire time with Spencer Arrighetti, aside from the first week or so. I've given him a lot of credit, and he has started to pay that back. He's had a nice stretch. The entire month of August for Arrighetti was a really, really good month. In the past couple of starts, he's starting to approach he's having some really good games. I don't know how long it's going to continue. I don't know what he's going to turn into. But right now, he's putting together some of the most solid games of the season for the Astros from a pitcher's perspective. Then you go to Sunday, where before we get to another pitcher with sauce, Kikuchi pitched again, and it was fine. 5 2/3, I think 3 runs given up. Wasn't a masterpiece from Kikuchi, but again, it's just this long stretch for him ever since he became an Astro, where not every game is a masterpiece, but he just continues to go out and pitch really, really solid. He continues to give them chances to win, and I said they need someone for the bottom end that isn't necessarily a superstar, but is just going to give you that depth and give you that 4th guy in the rotation that's going to give you really good chances to win. What did he do Sunday against a really good Baltimore team? He gave you a chance to win. What did you do? You won. You know what helped you win? Hector Neris, baby! He's back! Speaking of pitchers who have the sauce, he came home. I couldn't believe it. And I discussed this, not on videos because I haven't made a video in a week, but just in person, talking with other people about Neris. As I watched him Sunday night, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work, but there are pitchers, there are players that you just really like having on your team. Like, I can shut my brain off. I don't know that Hector Neris is necessarily going to be that level that he was for the Astros for the past few seasons. But, dude, I just really like seeing him here. I just really like seeing him in that uniform. He is a fun pitcher to watch. And you know what he did? Ending in a third scoreless, and then picked him up on the next night. The next night did not result in a win, but in his first game back as an Astro, what did he do? He went out, gave you 4 really solid outs, picked up the win for you, and you got another one of those dogs back. And I am more than willing to just kind of turn a little bit of your brain off and be happy and smile because, dude, Hector Neris is actually back. That's really fun. That's really cool. Like, I can just be happy about things. You also, in that game against Baltimore, to ice the game, had Alex Bregman and Yainer Diaz going back-to-back, on back-to-back pitches, by the way, to ice it late in the game, which is always fun to see. Bregman's going to get a lot of money. That actually was a $300 million plate appearance, by the way. So, you know, that's going to be a lot of fun to deal with in the coming days. The biggest standout for me of the week, aside from the fact that Yordan Alvarez OPS'd for the week, like, 1,300, Ben Gamel was really good. Like, stupidly good, actually. Like, he might have been the best player on the team for the week. He had 10 hits and 23 at-bats. He hit .435, on-base .480, and slugged .522. Sometimes I don't really know what to say about something because it just defies explanation. And good for him, because he defies explanation. Altuve also continued to Altuve along, which is surprising to absolutely no one. Hit about .280, on-base over .350, which is pretty standard for Jose Altuve. By the way, how fun is it that that's the standard? Hit a couple of home runs. Unfortunately, they both came in losses, as is tradition, because he simply can just so seldomly. You also had Altuve having a really nice week where he batted like .280, on-base over .350, hit a couple of home runs. Very standard stuff for Jose Altuve. By the way, how fun is it that even though he's like 34, that's still just the market standard for Jose Altuve? Genuinely, every passing day, every passing week, he just really cements himself as the greatest Astro of all time. And you might say, Weston, that feels really random to say for a pretty average Altuve week. And you're right, I just haven't said that in a while, and I feel wrong for not. And then the monster Yordan Alvarez, heavily aided with the final game of the week, but, you know, still relevant, went out for the past 7 days and hit .393, which is just such a goofy number to look at. On base .469, which is pretty nice if I might say so myself, and slugged .750. .750. Not as an OPS, as a slug. Because why wouldn't he simply do that? Really good week out of him. Also noteworthy, and this also, you know, is for a painful part of it, McCormick had a home run in the final at-bat of the series, or in his final at-bat of the series against Philly. Pinch hit. And hit a homer. 2-run shot. And then immediately got sent down to AAA. I don't know why. That seems really goofy if you're asking me. But that's the thing that happened. I understand his season has not been good, but also sending him down on a home run just feels quasi-idiotic. And the final thing I'll hit on is Mauricio Dubon had a solid week. Couple of nice hits here and there. Had a really big catch on the game Sunday night where I was like, oh, he might be done for a while, and then just simply decided not to be because Mauricio Dubon isn't human. And now following the road trip, the Astros will head back to Minute Maid Park to start a 4-game series against the Kansas City Royals. The first game will be this evening at 8:10 Eastern. I will be here after the series to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.